Welcome to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm John. We're a couple of overweight barbecue enthusiasts trying to share our love for sweet and smoky food with the world.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we talk about life, share recipes, successes, and failures that have all led to our love of cooking outdoors.
Welcome back, everybody. Just good old blues riff going on there.
Indeed.
I'm John. This is Mike. Here in the here in the Fat Guys studio, talking barbecue.
Yeah.
Just like every time.
Living the freaking dream.
I know it's
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I always like to ask people. So they're like, "Oh, living the dream." I was like, "Yeah, I wake up crying. It's a nightmare."
So true.
No, life's just real, man. It's been busy.
Mm-hmm. Very busy.
I just got back from a family reunion.
Yeah.
Everybody's still talking to each other.
That in and of itself, I feel like it's the win.
Right?
That takes a lot. I'm a little worried. We're headed for one in a couple weeks, so
anytime you
see how it goes.
I'm trying to remember it. I think it was 36 people.
Good heavens.
Let's just call it 40 people, because that sounds easier to think about. All under one roof.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big roof?
Yeah, I mean, each family had their own room.
Oh, that's good. I feel like that's
important. And there's kind of like a big bunk room for the kids to go hang out in, but
that's good. I feel like you can make it work if everybody kind of has their own space, that they can just, when they need a minute away from everybody.
Yeah, you've got to have safe space to retreat to. Yep, but no, like I don't know. I'm lucky. We were with Haley's family, and everybody gets along, and they're good groups of like cousins for the kids to play with. And
sweet.
So yeah, it's a good time.
Right on, man.
Plus, we'll talk about it. Their neighbor, the neighbor of the house.
I'm excited to hear this story.
Yeah, he's super cool.
That'll be cool.
But you've been busy too, though.
I have, man. I have been busy. We went hunting this weekend. It was the opener of the pheasant hunt. So my brother-in-law is kind of my outdoors inspiration guru, gets me out. So we went and just had a little bit of time before my two boys had wrestling. And so me and Damon went out with a group of guys and actually did really well. It's one of the better ones we've had. So
I was super jealous when I saw the picture.
Yeah, I literally, and I texted you this, I was going to call you the night before. I was about to push send and was like, oh, wait a minute, he's in St. George. And I didn't want to rub it in, so.
Just for the record, I would have come home.
That's my bad. I'm sorry. I read that situation.
I mean, I might have had to bring a couple of my brother-in-laws with me, but.
They'd have been down. It'd be fine.
I would have come.
It was a good time.
Yeah, so I think the picture I saw, you had 6 or 7?
Yeah, there were 6 in the picture. One of them, Duke may have taken care of for us. We shot him and he flew quite a ways and then was running through the hayfield. And so Duke ran him down and we were all like, sweet, awesome. And we had, like, a bunch of them flew out at a time. So we were all kind of dealing with it. And we look over, and he's just like, the inner wolf is coming out. And I was like, oh, crap. So, but it was good. I took both dogs. Dogs did good. Damon had a blast. Like, he's never been super into the outdoorsy things, like fishing and hunting, but he was really into that. And now he's like, when are we going again? Like, dude, when can I go? Stuff like that. So, which is kind of fun. I want to have those memories with the kids, rather than just watching TV and stuff. So,
yeah, pheasant's a big bird to shoot with a 410.
Yeah,
but I've got a little 410.
Might have to let him use that once and see how he does.
Robbie loves it, man.
Does he?
Yeah.
Do you shoot like clays with a 410?
Robbie does.
Huh.
Yeah, I need to buy a Youth 20.
Yeah.
And I've looked at them a couple of times, but just haven't ever bought one. But yeah, my 12 gauges are too big for for the kids.
See, I only have one 12 gauge, and I don't think that would be a fun experience for them. So,
I don't know, man. I mean, let's bear in mind that when I was 12, I was like 6 foot tall and, weighed 180. But
sure.
For a shotgun average shot was a 12 gauge at scout camp, and
me too.
It was fun. But so we're gonna talk about your pheasant recipe.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about the new friend I made in St. George. But before we get to that, let's do a quick shout out here. Shout out this week, Meet Dad 1.
Meet Dad 1.
Meet Dad and the number 1. And this really, as I was cruising the old IG this week, this one popped up. And I thought it was kind of cool because we just got done talking about cooking steak.
Mm-hmm.
He does an awesome tutorial on how to cook a steak in a pan on a stove. Like, if you don't have fancy smokers or really nice barbecue, you can still have a killer steak.
Oh, yeah.
And sure. He talks about it. It's not a big, thick steak that you've got to have custom cut or, pay a bunch of money for. This is very much like a go to Walmart and buy a ribeye. And he talks you through the whole process and how to do it. And, I mean, it just looks stupid good.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because we talk all the time about our smokers and stuff. I mean, restaurants cook things indoors, and it's fine, I prefer it on a grill, but you can make a dang good steak in a pan on the stove. So.
Oh, yeah. So, Meet Dad 1, check it out. He's got a whole bunch of stuff on his
I'm
on
just
his
looking
account
at his bone marrow butter. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, he's got some, really unique kind of posh stuff, but he's also just got some good old basic, really practical stuff on there. So check it out, take a look at it. I thought it was a really helpful and cool account to find.
Yeah, I like it. Meet Dad 1.
But with that, I need to send a note to my sous chef because my pork shoulder's just about done.
Hey-o. Tell us about that real quick,
Oh,
John.
my gosh, man. We are 11 hours and 39 minutes into this cook. Haley went on a field trip with Charlie today, so that meant I was at home kind of shuttling kids back and forth from school and while I was working. And you know what? I figured, hey, if I'm home, smoker ought to be rolling.
Oh, 100%.
And I kind of said, to heck with the weather. It's been kind of cold and drizzly.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled out the ugly drum and has a really nice basket in it that I still need to return to somebody.
Custom made, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Fits in there just perfect. Right between the rebar. You couldn't make it any better.
Dude, I have no use for it. You're fine.
Anyways, so I fired up the ugly drum smoker. It was awesome and smelled great all day long, but it was cold, rainy. I went out a couple of times to dump the water off of the top of the lid.
Yeah, it was coming down pretty good for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it went I don't know. It held really solid for about 9.5 hours. I went out and pulled all the vents, went full airflow, and got it about another hour out of it, and then the temperature started to tank. So, I pivoted, pulled it in, put it in the oven, 250, and now I gotta send this message. Otherwise, my phone's not going to stop freaking out.
Send it.
Will you pull the pork?
Well, and at this point, it's gotten all of the advantage of the smoke anyway, right? I mean, it's wrapped.
Yeah, it was wrapped. It was in a pan. It didn't need to be out there anymore.
Do you wrap it and then put it in a pan, or do you put it in a pan and cover the pan with foil?
So it was just out on the grate until it hit 160, and then I put it in a pan and covered it.
That's what I've started doing. I prefer that. I used to wrap it, and I like to put it in the pan now.
Yeah, it's kind of a new thing for me because when I do them on my Traeger, I don't wrap them.
No wrap at all.
I don't wrap it at all. I just let it run, and they'll go for, I don't know, 14 to 18 hours, depending, just on what's going on there. And I never mess with the wrap, but on the drum, you taught me this. Like, I really have to wrap it, otherwise it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, anyways, ran out of fuel, and I don't fault it. Like, that's not talking bad about the charcoal or the wood or.
Yeah, it was a rough day for it, and held steady for a long time.
It did awesome.
Yeah.
Like, super happy with it. It was a fun cook. I used a mix of lump charcoal and briquette, and then I've got some big chunks of pecan wood.
Okay.
And one of them fit just perfect, like, at an angle.
Okay.
In the basket. Mm-hmm. And my thought was like, oh, like, it'll just, like, kind of burn as it goes down. I don't know how it actually burned, but had, like, a big piece of wood in there for the added smoke. And
awesome.
Seems like it went pretty well.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
Yeah, so that's just coming out. So as soon as we get done here, we can go have pork.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Now we're talking.
Right?
It's the only reason I showed up today.
Nice.
Just kidding.
So, yeah, that's the story of the pork shoulder.
Right on.
But it was really good. And then I've got some chicken thighs that I found on a deal that I really want to smoke up in the drum just because I love that charcoal. Yeah. I've had a major hankering for just charcoal smoked chicken lately. Have you been to Pollo Azteca?
No, I've heard amazing things and I've driven by it and it smells amazing.
Yeah, so it is a trailer, literally a trailer. Yeah. In this alleyway between two buildings here in town, and they've got two 55-gallon drums.
Yeah, it's a drum, right, with charcoal
grills
in it.
I think they've got some mesquite in there.
Okay.
Like it's lump and wood, and man, it's awesome.
Man, every time I drive by, I'm like, oh man,
and it's so cheap too.
Really?
Like, Haley and I went there for a date night. I went and I got a half a chicken, and I think it was like $16, and it came with like 2 sides and tortillas, and it was awesome.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
I'll have to hit it up.
Yeah, so big fan of Pollo Azteca, and now I need chicken thighs.
Sure. Or pheasant thighs.
Ooh, segue. I'm dropping stuff. Anyways, Mike, tell us about your pheasant cook.
Well, let me tell you, John. So I've killed a few pheasants in my life, and I feel bad killing stuff if I'm not going to eat it. And usually I just give it to my brother-in-law because he knows how to cook it and always does a good job. So honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to say this was the first time I have really eaten the pheasant that I've killed. So I really wanted to do it. Damon was way into it. He's like, hey, are we going to smoke this? We're going to make a video.
Awesome, man.
And so hopefully by the time this airs, I'll have my video all edited and ready to go. But I just sent it. I watch a bunch of videos online and then kind of make it work with what I have.
Love it.
So I brined it. Good idea to do that with any wild game that you have because it kind of draws all the blood out of it, I guess. So I just brined it, and a lot of people are like, brine it for 8 to 16 hours or overnight or as long as you can. I did it for 2 because I was very limited on time and
you were hungry.
Yeah. So I just threw it in there.
What'd you do for a brine?
I kept it simple. So I just used like a half a gallon of water and then half a cup of salt, kosher salt, and half a cup of sugar. And I just use white sugar. Usually, like if I'm doing a turkey, I'll use brown sugar, but I just use white sugar. So stirred that up until it all dissolved and then put all the pheasant in there. I tried to kind of trim it off, clean it up, take out any BBs that I saw and feathers and stuff. And so I let it brine, and it brined for 2 hours. And then I took it out of the brine and I rinsed it off, which is something that when I first started brining things, I didn't understand that you had to do. I was like, hey, it's already got a binder on it, and it's just so salty and will wear it out. So,
yeah, I've even had a couple of recipes, and I think it's mostly with pastrami that I've had to do this, that like you brine a brisket for a week and then you soak it in distilled water.
Oh, really? To
pull some of that salt out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
But anyways, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I can't remember what I cooked that I didn't do that, and it ruined it. So anyway, I did that. Honestly, I'm afraid of wild game sometimes, and so I just try to cover it up as much as possible. So I rinsed that off, and then I put it in a bowl, and I'm trying to think. I know I've got a video of it, but and I just splashed in some balsamic vinegar, some soy sauce, and I think maybe a couple things of Worcestershire sauce, but I don't even think I did that. And then just some all-purpose rub, just salt, pepper, garlic, and kind of tossed it in there and let it kind of marinate while I waited for my Weber to come up to temp. And then I cut it into strips, little kind of chicken nugget type strip size. Okay. And I only had 2, and I just used the breast. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with the legs yet, so I just used the breast.
That was going to be my question, is did you just breast it out, or did you pluck it? And
No, I took the breasts, and then I have the legs, but I wasn't sure what to do with them. So that's where we're at. So anyway, I took the breasts and just kind of, I feel like I hit them with maybe some holy cow. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't do that. I don't remember. I think it was holy cow.
Check out the Instagram video.
Yeah, it'll be on the Instagram video for sure. Anyway, wrapped it in bacon. Hit it with a little holy cow. Dude, it was so
Can't
good.
go wrong with bacon and wild birds.
Yeah. So 2-zone fire. Kept it on the cool side because I knew that bacon was going to cook really fast, and I wanted to make sure that the bird cooked, all the way through. So once the internal temp on the bird hit 160, I put it over on the hot side and kind of crisped up the bacon. And
nice.
Dude, the kids got after it.
Did they really?
And they don't. I mean, they're pretty hesitant with stuff, but they pounded it. It was pretty good.
Whitney, try it?
No, I wish. I tried, but she wanted to make sure the kids had all that they wanted. So she's very selfless like that. Very Christ-like.
Man, Whitney.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be my next Fat Guy Sends It video. I just haven't finished editing it yet. So.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of upland game.
Yeah.
I love pheasant. Quail's where it's at.
See, I've had quail before. It was pretty tasty.
Yeah, quail and dove. I mean, you need like 16 of them to have a meal, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole thing's a thigh.
Yeah. Delicious.
Yep. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. I've got a thing in Salt Lake on Monday that I was already going to have to go down for, and then my buddy called me and Spencer wants to go run the dogs and see how they do. And I was like, oh, guess I just have to take the afternoon off instead of coming back to work. And
shucksy doodles. It's a rough life.
I'm pretty excited.
That's
I really
awesome.
hope we get something.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So I guess going back to did you pluck the birds or did you?
I did not. We just breasted them out.
Breasted them out and then took the legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One time I tried to pluck it and I just made such a mess that it wasn't a good experience for anybody. So.
Yeah, I've seen all sorts of different tips and tricks, and I mean that's how we always do ducks is we just breast them out, but and even then, like I feel like I'm just like covered in duck feathers for days. Right. Every time I turn around, I'm finding more of them. Mm-hmm. So
I wonder. I've watched some like this is how my life is. I've watched like some chicken farms how they like pluck their birds.
Machines.
Yeah, I wondered if you could do something similar to that.
Yeah, you probably
for a pheasant, but I guess you'd have to.
You probably could, but if I buy one of those, then Haley's gonna want meat birds, and I just don't know. one, I don't think that it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Those are the most expensive eggs that I have
I
ever
hear that,
eaten every morning for breakfast. But I don't know. I just don't think meat birds are gonna be cheaper than the $1.50 a pound.
Yeah.
That a whole chicken is at Sam's Club.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But hey,
I don't know.
I'm sure Haley will explain to me why it is a good idea. And now that she knows that I might use the machine, she's going to be like, look, it's such a great idea. You can use it for this and use it for that. And then I'm going to have meat birds running around everywhere.
So next week, we'll have Haley on here to discuss her meat bird operation that she'll have up and running by then.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck trying to get Haley on the podcast again.
Yeah, that's
especially the fact that there's video now. She is not excited.
Not into it, huh? Well.
No. The week that we were late, I was like, Haley, I need you to get on the podcast. She's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what do you mean you're not doing it? I'm not doing it. I was like, okay.
We both married strong-willed, independent women, which is good.
And we are blessed for it.
We sure are. Tell us about your best friend.
My
or
best
your new
friend.
best friend.
Bob.
Bob.
And I didn't get his phone number, and I'm mad about it.
Oh, shoot.
Because I'm going to need to ask him questions. So, if any of you are Jeep Jamboree fans down in St. George, Bob caters that event every year.
Oh, wow. He
Yeah.
caters it.
Caters it, and that is why he's building a 500-gallon offset smoker.
Sick.
Which just happens to be the exact same size as the tank
There we go.
that we have upstairs that I need to get some work going on.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, it's so we rent for this family reunion. We rent the same house 3 years in a row. We've rented it, and I have been looking out the bedroom window at the neighbor in the back all 3 years because his back patio looks like paradise. He's got pellet grills. He's got kettles. He's got a Kamado grill, and then he's got a couple of little 60-gallon offsets.
Like that he made or bought, do you think?
No, they are. Well, I think there's maybe one that's like an Oklahoma Joe or something.
Okay.
But they're all custom built rigs.
Cool.
The 500-gallon is the first one he's built personally. He's tinkered with them, but the rest of them he's bought.
Okay.
Off of Facebook for the most part. But he's got a 120-gallon one that I've been drooling at, looking at. I'm like, I wonder if he even uses that. Maybe I should just go over and see if he wants to part with it and let me buy it from him or something. But we get there and they're actively out there building this 500-gallon.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I sat there looking over the fence for a while, and finally my brother-in-law and my father-in-law were like, dude, just go talk to him. I'm like,
Reminds me of some of the boys in high school that I see just pining over a girl. Finally, their friends are like, dude, just go talk to her.
Go. So we were going out to dinner on Saturday night, and before dinner I was like, all right, I'm going over.
This is my moment.
And I had some stickers.
Nice.
Went and got some fat guy stickers and went over and was like, hey, really sorry to just intrude and crash here, but we rent this house every year. I've been drooling over your smokers, and I saw you guys were out here. I had to come check it out, and told them about the podcast and gave them stickers. And man, Bob it was awesome. He told me all about the build, and it's always fun to talk to guys that have been doing life for a while.
Yeah.
Because they always feel you out a little bit,
Right.
And I mean, I get it. I was wearing shorts and flip flops, and maybe they weren't I don't know what shoes I had on. Anyways, but I was clean cut. I did not look like my true fat guy self. And he's telling me this and that, and he's like, "Yeah, I got the plans. I was off off Smoke Builder. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I bought those. Like, I've been going through them, and it looks like you're doing this different. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing this. And once we understood each other,
he accepted you as one of her.
Man, it was awesome. He was showing me all sorts of stuff, and I'll post the picture on Instagram. But one of the cool things that he showed me was his chicken cooker.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this.
And the trailer's probably, I don't know, 12 foot long, and call it 4 foot wide.
Okay.
And it's got 3 sections to it, and in each section it's got it's a big charcoal cooker, and each section it has grates that essentially form a cavity. So you put all the chicken, you open it up, you put the chicken in, and then you can cook it, and then the whole thing flips. So you can go back and forth and crisp up the skin and like keep it moving.
And flip everything at once.
Flip
that
it all really at
nice.
Once. Yeah, so he's, buying 40-pound boxes of chicken and cooking the whole thing all at once. And it was, I'm telling you, it was a big, solid trailer that just looked totally awesome.
Yeah, I want to see those pictures. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. But he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I guess the Jeep Jamboree is the 20th of January.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, man, like, we're going to fire it up on the 19th. If you're around, come on by. So, I don't know what your schedule looks like, but
it could open right up.
We might be going to St. George on the 19th.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if anybody knows Bob or has his contact information, hit our DMs because I need to connect with him. And
yeah.
But it was great. He like everything that I was planning on doing to my smoker, like I was watching him do, even to the point where like he's got the Harbor Freight like surface prep tool.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's not as great as sandblasting, but like it's getting it done. It's taking it down to the metal. Like so. It gave me warm fuzzies that I was on the right path.
Yeah, that always makes you feel good when you've got a plan and you're seeing somebody do it just the way that you were thinking of doing it. I love that. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
Bob, hit us up, dude.
Yeah, he said he was going to start listening, and
oh, cool.
So, I don't know if he will or not, or if he even.
Well, what do you say in that situation? Nah, dude, I'm definitely never going to listen to this.
No, I mean, and we weren't even talking about the podcast, but he, circled back and super. And we've talked about this so many times, and especially as we started the podcast, like one of the things I love about smoking is just how cool the community is.
Yeah,
like. Literally, I pulled up in front of this guy's house, never having met him before, and walked into his backyard and said, "Hey,
hey, best friend,
sorry to just like trespass on your property, but what you're doing looks really cool, and I wanted to see it.
I want to see."
Like, think about almost any other situation, and
right,
you would just be like, "Please leave."
Yeah, I need you to vacate the premises post haste.
But we were there, for, I don't know, 20 minutes, a half hour. Like, we were late to dinner.
Worth it.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. It was worth, that 30 minutes would have been worth the drive in and of itself. Yeah. Like, it was super cool.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe, like, just how cool people are. And, I mean, I guess I get it. Like, I would kind of be the same way. I'm not overly, like, extroverted. But if people start asking me about, like, my cookers or what I'm cooking, like, I could see myself opening up. And that's just what I've found. Like, when we went to that restaurant and started walking around their pits, they were like, hey, do you want to look inside? It was just like,
I know.
You don't see that at, any restaurant. They're like, yeah, come on back in the kitchen. Let's show you what's going on, So, it was awesome. People are cool.
Yeah, people are cool. And I don't know. I feel like when you find someone with a shared passion, and I really think that's what it is. Like, there are lots of people that like to eat barbecue and like, yeah, this is good. But like, You find people that are passionate about cooking it and the process, and like, you find those kindred spirits, and it's just super easy to get lost in talking about stuff. And So
I concur.
And I did not get to go to that restaurant. So that's another reason we should go down.
True that. Me and Damon are headed down there to a football tournament next week, so maybe we'll hit Bob up.
There you go.
You're like, yo, Bobbert.
Are you going? I know there's one in Mesquite.
That's where we're going, but we're staying in St. George with Whitney's sister because we're too poor to buy a hotel.
Dude, have you ever tried to stay in Mesquite?
Right.
I stayed at the Virgin River one time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that one time was enough for me to be like, yeah, I can power through another 90 minutes to get to St. George.
I stayed there once. I was like, all right, we'll stay offset.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So. Yes, Siri.
Yeah, she's just kind of being kind of a jerk right now. Well,
it's all good. Have we reached that point again?
I think we're there. I think they're playing our song.
They're playing our song.
We're starting to badmouth other places. We should probably.
It's Mesquite, man. I think that's the nicest thing you can say about Mesquite. I don't think it's bad mouthing. I think that was a compliment.
Well, that's true.
But I've got some ideas for a new slogan, maybe some stickers.
Oh.
Holidays are coming. Maybe even some merch.
Dude.
Let's just say live authentic.
Ooh. I like it.
Anyways, we'll talk more about that.
Cool.
So, until next time, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
This is Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.